Just gonna grab my sunglasses.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please turn your attention to the area behind home plate for a very special presentation.
Well, welcome everybody. My name is Judd Damon. I'm the athletic director at Flagler College. We're so happy that all of you have joined us today for a really special recognition. I want to thank our trustees, our former presidents, our players behind us, our family members and friends who are here for Dave Barnett. You know, when Dave became head coach at Flagler College, Ronald Reagan was the president. I was still a college baseball player. Could have played for him. I wish I had. And coach, his assistant coach, Jeff Pelkey, I think was not even a twinkle in his daddy's eye yet. But he's been at Flagler for 35 years, Dave has. And during that time, he's accomplished a lot of great things. I think many of you know he is in the Flagler College Athletics Hall of Fame. He's in the St. Johns County Sports Hall of Fame. And was most recently inducted into the American Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. There are a lot of things for which Coach Barnett could be recognized and it should be recognized, but today we're marking a very special commemoration when on April 10th this year, Coach Barnett earned his 1,000th career win. So Dave, if you and your coaching staff could come on the field, I'd like to present you with this commemorative plaque marking 1,000 wins, all at Flagler College.
Here real soon, but thank you so much everyone for coming out today. It's really a treat to have Dr. Proctor here, who gave me the chance back in 1987 to not only coach the baseball team but teach, which is kind of scary, and teach classes and run the intramural department and a lot of responsibilities. But I'm forever grateful for that opportunity, Dr. Proctor. And then Dr. Bill Hebert here that took over for Dr. Proctor. They've both been at Flagler for 50 years, and Dr. Hebert kept me on. Many times he probably could have sent me on my way. You know, coaches, it's tough in this profession to last for a long time, but these guys entrusted they trusted and believed in me and gave me an opportunity, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you. And would like to also mention David Drisdale, a board member here, who is a namesake of our field, has been a great contributor to Flagler College and helped us tremendously. There are other trustees as well. Mark and Alicia Bailey have been great supporters, and thank you so much for everything that you've done. All of the board members here. And Dan Stewart, who is our athletic director when I first got here and taught me so much, and was a great mentor to me for many, many years as well. So thank all of you for being here. And of course, my good friend Judd Davis is the best athletic director, in my opinion, we've ever had at Flagler College. No offense to myself either. Anyway, a lot of people to talk with, we'll get going, but I do want to have a little shout out to the class of 1975, Eustis High School up there. Thank you for coming from Eustis, and a true mentor up there in Coach Clark Blake. Coach, we stand up. Coach Blake, if you played for Coach Blake, he was a football coach, and I had the opportunity to play for him. But what an inspiration. So, Coach, I probably wouldn't have ever got into coaching if it wasn't for you. That you had more impact than you'll ever know. Thank you so much. I'd like to mention some other Flagler alumni that are sitting here right in the front row. Kerry Corson just had a 60th birthday party last night. And also the beach board. I believe the beach board is right behind him. Thank you for coming. And I'm sure I didn't recognize everybody, but I've got to recognize the most important people here, and that's my family. My mother, who is our best fan, and she's been a fan ever since. And she's not a fan of me, she's a fan of baseball. I always laugh. My dad never played baseball, but my mom, I think, was a baseball person that got me interested in the game. My sister Dina and her husband Dwayne are here. Thank you for coming. My son Tyler and his wife Avery and their children are here. Our daughter Chelsea is working at the hospital today, otherwise she would be here as well. But thank you so much for coming. And then last but not least, the matriarch of the family, my wife Tina. Stand up, Tina, and be recognized. She's the one, forget the 1,000 wins. She doesn't hear about those. She hears about the losses, and she has to listen to me complain after the game about what we didn't do right or what went wrong. Great sounding board. Thank you, honey, for being a great wife, a great listener. Thank you, everybody, again for coming. Enjoyed it. Let's have a great day. Thank you.
Tied underneath? Yeah, you got it. Is it bound? Is it levels? Can you see the levels? Awesome, awesome. Jordan. Just a hair. Good direction. Camera one. What are you doing, camera one?
John, do you have an extra lineup? Thank you. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'll take one.
That's weird. I'm glad you both pointed that out. All right, you ready? Let's do this. On the day that Flagler honors head coach Dave Barnett on his 1,000th win, Flagler has a chance to clinch a hosting berth in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. They have to get past regular season champ Columbus State in the rubber match of their 3-game series and the regular season finale for both. Saints baseball starts now. Hi everyone, a beautiful day for baseball, hot and sunny here in the ancient city. Dave Wendell along with Jordan Fauci, our sports information director John Jordan, and Juliana Maynard, our producer. A look at the Columbus State lineup, and Jordan, we know they're a slugging lineup. They're a great hitting for average lineup. Who stands out for you in this group? We've seen him for a couple of days now.
Colby Brabston in the bottom half of their lineup has been excellent, batting .444 in the series. That is a step up from him. He's a .314 guy for the year, but .444 in the series. And then Robert Brooks just overall has been fantastic the entire year, batting .393 on the year, .400 in this series alone. These guys can really hit the baseball, and this is a really good Flagler pitching staff that they've played against, but it hasn't really done much to stop them. They can just they excel at making hard contact.
Cougars are hitting .296 as a team in the series. They'll deal with Gabriel Partridge, the sophomore from Miami. He is 4-4 on the year, making his 13th appearance, his 5th start, has a 5.36 ERA. Leading it off is the shortstop, Isaac Boughton.
So, that was a sub.
First pitch right at 1 o'clock, and it's in there for a strike.
The great thing about Gabriel Partridge, he has great velocity on his fastball and a really, really, really good changeup that he can work off of that pitch.
0-1 is off the plate. 81 degrees and partly cloudy here, but we've barely a cloud in the sky, as you can see here on our Peach Belt Network camera. The 1-1 is low. Umpires today behind the plate: John Puma at first base, Perry Ramacone, and at third, it's William Benson. Lot on the line here. Columbus State has clinched the regular season title, but seedings and home field advantage up for grabs, particularly for the Saints, and we'll get into this as the day wears on, but essentially what we think we figured out is there's a log jam between places 2 and 5, and the top 4 places host. Here's the 2-2. Short fly ball into right field. This is Griffin Garcia getting the start in right, and he makes the play. So Flagler controls its own destiny. Win today, and they will host next weekend a 3-game series. Lose today, they could still host, but Young Harris would have to lose and get swept by Georgia Southwestern. So we'll keep a track of that Georgia Southwestern Young Harris game as we track this Flagler Columbus State matchup here. The batter is the third baseman, David Meadows. Warm and sunny today as that pitch catches the inside part of the plate. As a pitcher, Jordan, do you like this kind of weather?
The ball flies out a lot more when it's hot out. However, it's a lot easier to get warm. And we see it right there. Sometimes you just feel better when it's warm out. The velocity feels a little bit better. You feel loose. But it's a lot about, it focuses a bit more on your endurance because you're wearing down a lot faster, especially with the black unis on today. No clouds in the sky. Boys are going to be baking out on the field.
That brings up the catcher, Robert Brooks. Brooks, as Jordan alluded to, hitting .400 this weekend. 2 for 5. He has an RBI. Both of the hits are singles. Here's the 0-1, and that's inside and low, ball 1. So the Saints turn to Partridge, the sophomore, transfer from St. Petersburg College, to try to win the series and clinch a home field hosting berth in the PBC tournament. That'll be a best of 3 series. And then after the top 4 teams host, the winners of those 4 series will congregate at the highest remaining seed and play a double elimination tournament to determine the PBC tournament champion. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count.
We would love to see a 1-2-3 inning here for the young right-hander.
Count runs full as that one stays inside.
Man, when you played Wichita State and Hawaii, Wichita State were all black uniforms, and it was amazing. Easter weekend.
Ground ball to Ward at third, backs him up a step, but he makes the play, and it is a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the first, no score. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you end up putting defense in? Oh, well, not now. The Flagler defense? Can you hold it for the second inning? Let's do that. That's fine. So we will do batting order for Flagler here, and then Columbus State's defense on and out or whatever. Sorry about that. Totally slipped my mind. That'd be fine. You could put it right up, yeah, if you want to. Do you have something you can talk about here about Flagler's lineup?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. And welcome back. Ready for the bottom of the first. You're looking at the batting order for the Flagler Saints. Interesting that Griffin Garcia gets the start in right field. He'll be batting seventh. And what jumps out at you here?
Tyler Keith has really picked it up this series. Home run, batting 400 in the series, 3 RBIs, 5 total bases, a fantastic slugging percentage of 1,000. He's just really picking it up for the bottom half of the lineup. When you can lengthen a lineup, it really puts a lot of stress on the opposing pitcher, and that's what you need.
Trey Newland, the center fielder, leads it off for the Saints, who are dealing with Colton Joyner, big right-hander. Sophomore, 6'4", 240 out of Columbus. Hometown product.
Yeah, I think that's right. Depends on what youngers does as well, too, because they're tied.
Joyner making his 12th start. He's 7-1 on the season, but with a 5.58 ERA. 0-2 pitch, spoiled by Newland.
Complicated as the A, son.
So usually when you see a big right-hander, a 6'4", 240 guy, you think fastball.
Yes, high velocity, and he's going to move a lot of stuff down into the zone. He's going to just try and pitch north to south, as he did right there, getting Trey Newland on the high fastball. He's going to just try and work north to south and work everything off of that nice fastball. It's easier as a bigger guy to just consistently pump out good velocity.
Okay, Julian, you can shoot these if you have it already. Defense?
I already put defense, but I can do it again.
Oh, no, that's fine.
This is Matthew Burke, the shortstop. Bit of a different lineup this weekend, with Burke moving from second to short in the absence of Mason Gray. We're not sure why Mason's not playing. There's a line drive base hit for Burke.
That's Burke's first hit of the series. Good to see him finally get the monkey off of his back here as he's moved up in the order. That can sometimes throw off you as a player and as a batter, especially moving up drastically as he has up to the second spot. It's good to see him put some good wood on the ball and just drop in a line drive single.
So 1 on, 1 out for the catcher, John Fiorenza.
So we have a chance of hosting.
First pitch is a strike. Fiorenza playing his last regular season game here at Drysdale Field.
Like as long as Columbus already won the regular season title, so after they went out, they'll host.
Burke has stolen a couple of bags this season. He's not been caught. And Columbus State well aware. These teams seem to have scouted each other well. Maybe it's the prevalence of video these days. You can watch all the games on the PBC network. Here's a ground ball, could be 2. The flip to second for 1. The relay is in time, and it's a double play that ends the inning. A hit, but no runs for the Saints. We head to the top of the second. Back, just put up the defense, but not before. When we start talking, just roll up the defense and then pull it out before the first pitch. Before Dan McCook ran the radio station, he worked at the reptile farm. That's how qualified he is. Yeah. He gave me my first on-air gig here at Flagler College when I was in the 90s. Before I went back to grad school, to journalism school, I was here just sort of hanging out, waiting to get into grad school, and I hosted a world music show.
Oh, you were it's now World Music Bob, I believe.
Oh, really?
I host a sports show on the station.
Nice. We had a little sports talk show we ran briefly. It wasn't very good. But yeah, I did 3 hours of world music, and then the sleepy cosmonaut came in and did 3 hours of world music. Bizarre. And welcome back. A look at the Flagler defense. Griffin Garcia starting in right for his brother Donovan. And Matthew Burke at short. Zach Thomas, the freshman, getting another start at second. He's played very well there. The batter is Stephen Minter.
I've really liked what I've seen from Zach Thomas thus far this series. First real look that we've gotten from him in a huge series for the Saints. He's rose to the occasion.
0-2 the count to Minter, who's the DH.
My gosh. He's probably about my age.
Fouled out of play.
Was it Ricky maybe?
Dean was the older brother.
Yeah, I think it may have been Ricky's daughter.
I never covered Ricky over there.
Dean. 0-2 pitch. Check to swing. The appeal says he did not go around, so it's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good waste pitch there from Partridge to just drop that curveball, really just kind of leave it in the dirt. If you get the swing, good, but either way, it changes the eye level of the batter.
I can't even, I'm trying to picture it. I can't.
Long run for Griffin, and this will be out of play.
Ball just kept just drifting on over there. I thought at first off the bat it would have been an easy fly ball for Griffin out there, and looks like the wind just really grabbed that one, blowing from left to right here at Drysdale Field.
Wonder why Griffin gets the start. He's played very little this year. He's making his 12th appearance, but just his second start and just 5 at bats. This one hammered, but foul.
He was sitting on curveball there. Just got out ahead of it, really put some good wood on it, but just yanked that one foul. Expect to go back with a fastball here, maybe elevated from Partridge.
First round game.
And this one driven into left. It falls in front of Ashton Thomas, and it's the first base hit for the Cougars. So the leadoff man is aboard for Colby Brabston, the left fielder.
Brabston has been fantastic so far this series. 444 through 9 at-bats, 4 hits, 6 total bases, 4 runs batted in. Just really putting on a show here. It's going to be a tough test for Partridge.
First pitch is high and outside. A couple of those hits were doubles for Brabston. Brabston hitting .272, which sounds pretty robust, but puts him way down the line in terms of the season batting average. 8th on the team among the regulars and 11th among all batters.
He said he'd call me when he thinks something.
Columbus State, probably the best hitting team. We'll have to look at the overall numbers. I would suspect that a .317 team average is best of the Peach Belt Conference. We'll check that for you as we go along. Flagler is a .276 hitting team, a big improvement from a season ago. Now 3-0 as Partridge is very careful here with Brabston. Nobody out and a runner at first.
Actually, looking at it now, Columbus State in second place.
Really?
Young Harris batting .320 on the year.
Wow.
top end of the Peach Belt Conference can really hit the baseball. Saints play a different style comparatively to the other teams in the conference, but it works for them. It's how Dave Barnett wants to play, and the Saints have executed it very well this year.
Well, the batter's the right fielder, Derek Wiley. Had a couple of big moments in the series. Wiley 3 for 8 this weekend, has a double, driven in a couple. Saints took the opener 5-4 in dramatic fashion. Cougars had the tying run at third base when the game ended. And then yesterday was a 4-4 tie going into the ninth, and Columbus State scored 3 in the final frame to win it 7-4. A rubber match this afternoon. Swing and a miss.
Beautiful curveball there from Partridge. You can just push and pull on the throttle a bit with speed and just change that up. Just kind of keep this a really good batting team off balance. He should be able to have very good success.
Fly ball for Newland. Tagging up is Minter, and we'll see if he'll test the arm. He will. The throw will come to second, and both runners are safe, tagging up and moving up a base each. And so now 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. And the batter is Matthew McDade.
The wind was throwing off Trey Newland out in center there. A routine fly ball, but he was not quite sure of it underneath the baseball. Still made the play regardless, but that's something to look for as we go in this game. If the wind's going to be swirling out in the outfield, it has helped the Saints thus far in the series. This is a power-hitting team in Columbus State, and if that wind continues to come in, it's going to be tough for balls to fly out here.
And that's probably good for Gabriel Partridge. Wind was blowing in stiffly like it is today on Friday evening when we were both here. Both of us missed yesterday's game. More typical Florida weather today. Ground ball foul.
Because we need to have a second facility, so it's coming to the St. John's River Coach. You know, it's like me, John, and a couple other people. The St. John's River Coach said, you know, Flagler's got a great feel for this. It's just a sunburn waiting to happen out there, but just watching me. I'm like, yeah, once we get, I'd love to have
1-1 is the count to McDade.
We just haven't been able to find something that we can get a good curve.
That one stays inside, ball 2. Now 3-1.
You have a base open here, so it's not the end of the world if you end up walking. It actually could potentially put you in position to roll up a double play and get out of the inning. However, you really don't want to mess around with this such a good hitting team in Columbus State.
3-1. And it's a fair ball base hit. Here comes Minter to score. Holding at third base is Brabston, so it's an RBI single for McDade and 1-0 Cougars. That brings up John Pardue, the first baseman, as Jeff Pelkey will come out and check on his sophomore hurler. Now, what do you think is going on the mound here?
You'd hope to just roll up a double play here. They're definitely going to go through Pelkey's more on just conferencing with what they're going to go with. Maybe just schedule the next couple of pitches in coordination with John Fiorenza just to see how they're going to go, how they're going to attack the batter here. I expect them to try and stay outside soft and then maybe come back in with velocity just to try and induce a ground ball here and end the inning.
Matthew Burke also a part of the conversation on the mound. Getting a read defensively. And now we're ready for Pardue. Fouls off the first pitch.
You also have to watch out about some movement on the base paths here. You have a first and third situation with one out. I wouldn't be surprised if Columbus State had something going here in terms of maybe a hit and run.
Check on the runner at first, McDade. That pitch is off the mark. 0-2 the count. Swing and a miss. And a big out there.
That's a huge strikeout there for Partridge. If you could just limit this to one run, it'd be perfect. It'd be a perfect way. Just get out of a jam. Builds confidence, especially when he had runners at first and second with no outs. Got the fly ball that moved the runners over. Just letting up a single, only allowing one run, getting out of here would be huge for Partridge's confidence going into the latter half of this game.
We'll have to get past Connor Curley to do it, and here's a base hit from the number 9 hitter. It brings home Brabston to make it 2-0. First pitch swinging from Curley, and it's an RBI single.
The ambush tactic there from Curley. Saw the first pitch, liked it enough to just kind of poke a ground ball through that second base, first base hole.
So back to the top of the order, and Isaac Boughton, who flew out to right field in the first inning, leading off the game. Ball 1 to Boughton. Big cut. Boughton almost came out of his shoes with that swing.
Yeah, that was an eye-level fastball there. You love to get a hitter to chase at that because there's no way they're going to put any solid contact onto that, but it looks so enticing coming in as a pitch that you can generally get swings and misses on those high fastballs.
There's a strike on the outer part of the plate. 1-2. Partridge trying to get out of this jam, limit the damage to just 2 runs. That one blocked by Fiorenza. Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, I know. It's a blessing. And it's going to be interesting to see what the Saints do next year in terms of catching. You have 2 seniors, guys that have caught most of the games for the last 3 years here at Flagler. Both exiting. Griffin Garcia out in right field, I know a catcher on the roster as well. But we'll have to see if who's going to take control of it. It's going to be interesting to watch at the beginning of next season.
Yeah, so much catching experience between Fiorenza and Tyler Keith. Keith has DH'd more than caught this year because Fiorenza is so outstanding as a defensive catcher. The runners will be off here on the pitch. Partridge steps off. Payoff pitch, line drive to right. This will score at least 1 run, and they'll hold the runner at third. It's 3-0 Cougars on the base hit from Boughton.
Just timely hitting here for the Cougars. Partridge hasn't looked terrible either. They're just putting good contact onto the ball.
No stirring yet in the Flagler bullpen. Looks like they're going to stick with Partridge at least this inning. Try to get that final out and get out of this. Now runners at the corners with 2 outs. And the batter is David Meadows. Meadows struck out his first time, rolls a foul ball down the third base line. The 0-1 pitch, checks his swing. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Speaking of stirring in the bullpen, it looks like we're going to get some guys starting to head down for the Saints. Hopefully Partridge can get out of this jam that he's got himself into here.
Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Looked like Ryan Franklin got up and headed down there to the bullpen, number 38.
Bit of a local kid from Lakeland. A big body out.
The runner breaks from first, and strike 3 called. So Partridge gets out of it, but not before giving up 3 runs on 4 hits. And Columbus State leads at 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. And welcome back. Bottom of the second, 3-0 Cougars. It will be Jaden Ward, Ashton Thomas, and Luke Wellborn up for the Saints, facing Colton Joyner.
Love to see Jaden Ward start us off here with his first hit of the series, 0 for 8 thus far.
And there it is. Line drive to left, just as Jordan called it.
It's just what the doctor ordered. Hopefully you can get back a couple of these runs and even up this ball game, if not take the lead. At least put a dent into this 3-0 lead here for the Cougars.
So the left fielder, Thomas, bats. Ashton, 2 for 8 in the series. The 0-1 from Joyner, stays outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Update on Young Harris and Georgia Southwestern. They're scoreless in the bottom of the second. Another check on Ward. Ward has not even attempted a stolen base this season. Ground ball, knocked down by the second baseman. Great range, and then the throw is wide. And Ward is going to turn and head for third base.
Did that hit Thomas?
Yes.
Because he hit the deck going down the first baseline. Definitely not how he drew it up, but the Saints will take the base runner.
So now there are 2 on runners at the corners, and the batter is Luke Wellborn, the big first baseman. And Greg Appleton, the head coach for Columbus State, in his 25th season, comes out to talk to the umpires about that play. And the umpires will come together. It gives us a chance to thank some of the supporters of Flagler Athletics. St. Augustine record covering the ancient city in St. Johns County since 1894. St. Augustine Marina for all your boating and fishing needs. Spartan Orthopedic Institute, sports medicine and robotic surgery. Sonny's, local pitmasters since '68. We don't just serve barbecue, we are barbecue. And Salt Life, eat, drink, and be salty. Now, Coach Appleton won a national championship back in 2002 with the Cougars. He's played in 2 other national championship games and made 12 NCAA appearances in his tenure.
Umpires are debating on whether Thomas kicked the ball after it hit him, because that ball went careening out into shallow right field out foul ground. It's going to be interesting what they call this here.
If they do, is that runner's interference?
I imagine they would just bring Ward back to second base if they end up ruling that. There would be no way that Thomas would be out. But they're having a lengthy discussion here.
Our umpires today, John Puma, Perry Ramacone, and William Benson. They've been with us all weekend. And you're right, they're going to send Ward back to second. And we'll see if Dave Barnett pops out of the Flagler dugout to get a better explanation for this, or if he'll accept it.
Love to see Dave get rung up here on his 1000th day. Could go out with just really cap off such a great celebration with getting thrown out of the ball game.
So it'll be runners at first and second. The batter is Luke Wellborn, and looks like we might have a second. You want to roll that footage from earlier today, the ceremony honoring Dave Barnett. Had a lot of friends and family, old classmates from Eustis High School. His high school football and baseball coach was in attendance today as they honor Dave for win number 1,000 here at Flagler, his only head coaching job. And congratulations, Dave now has 1,006 wins on the season. So Coach Barnett did not protest the call at all.
I don't know how you can make a judgment on whether that was intentional or not. It was a terrible throw from the second baseman. He made a nice play to get to it. A ball that I didn't expect him to get to, but that throw came right at Thomas. It wasn't even close to the bag.
This one sliced, but foul from Wellborn. Luke Wellborn hitting .264 coming into today. Has 8 doubles, 3 homers, and has driven in 32. Here's another RBI opportunity for the big first baseman. Transfer in his first year here in St. Augustine. 0-2. Spoiled by Wellborn. Long look in from Joyner. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ball 1. Wellborn, a transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, where he hit .313 last year with 7 homers, 29 runs driven in, and 9 stolen bases. was a two-way threat in high school when he hit .454 as a senior and went 10-1 as a pitcher.
He has a fantastic eye, too. Really, he never goes down without a fight, but also watches a lot of pitches as well. Just has a really good understanding of the strike zone on most days.
Coach Barnett says he might be their best natural hitter. They just had to find him a natural position. They thought he'd mostly DH, but he's settled in at first base. From a very athletic family, his brother John played baseball at Georgia College, also in the Peach Belt. Sister Rebecca played volleyball at Oglethorpe University. 2-2 the count. Pitches inside. Good at bat from Wellborn. Really making Joyner work here in the Florida Heat. And by Florida Heat, I mean the very moderate Florida temperatures based on real Florida Heat. Here's the payoff pitch, foul ball.
Some frustration showing from Joyner on the mound after that one. Thought he executed a really good pitch, but a great swing from Wellborn to get the bat on the ball there and just fight that one off.
Another 3-2 coming. And it's a base hit. Ward had to hesitate there to make sure the ball wasn't caught, so the bases are now loaded with no outs here in the Flagler second, and that brings up Griffin Garcia. Well, great at bat there from Luke Wellborn.
Battled all the way back and saw a lot of pitches, and that's what he does. He sees a lot of pitches till he can find one he can do damage with. Went the other way there. Just a great overall piece of hitting. Unfortunately, that was headed right towards Ward. Better jump there, and he potentially can score from second base, or if they just held him at third base originally before they made the call on the Thomas play.
Here's Griffin Garcia getting just his second start of the season and just his sixth at bat. It's 1 for 5 coming in. He has scored 3 runs. Has 1 RBI. Foul tip. That one is high. 2 balls and a strike.
I really like what the Saints are doing here, just making Joyner work, seeing a lot of pitches. Just, especially, it is a hot day here may only be 81 degrees, but just being on the field, no clouds in the sky. The longer you work in the inning, it can really tire you out.
This could be 2. To second for 1. The throw to first is in time. Run scores on the double play ball from Griffin Garcia, and it's 3-1. So brings up Tyler Keith, the DH. As Jordan mentioned, had a home run last night, his first of the season, if I'm not mistaken. No, his fourth of the season.
He's been hitting the ball very well in the series. 400 in a good spot here. If you can put across another run, that's kind of a deflating double play there in the previous at bat for Griffin Garcia. But you'd love to see put another run on the board and make it just a 1-run ball game.
Keith has really settled in as the regular DH, somewhat blocked at the catching position by Fiorenza. He does give John a day off every now and then, but good enough hitter and great plate discipline to work his way into the lineup. And this one is a towering shot to deep right, and it is long gone. A home run from Tyler Keith has tied the game at 3.
That's one way to do it. I was hoping for just a single play across another run. Keith decided to take it all there for his second home run of the series. That was a bomb. Almost could have taken out one of those cars parked out in right field. But that will get the boys going on the bench, as you can maybe see just a crowd of Saints all fired up, because now we got ourselves a tie ball game.
Oh, this is what we were hoping for. An answer from the Saints here in the second after Columbus State got 3 in the top of the inning. Now, Flagler has answered with 3 of their own. And that was a no-doubt shot. And the wind really not helping a lot. The wind's really blowing in pretty much from straightaway center field, so didn't get a lot of help, just
muscled that one out.
Great power. This is Zach Thomas, the second baseman. Hey, Julia, can you replay that? No. Okay, that's fine. And that'll do it for the Saints, but they get 3 and they tie the game as we head to the top of the third. I was just going to say, if you had replayed it, we could replay it a second time. Tyler Keith's 2-run home run ties the game at 3 as we're ready for the top of the third inning. It will be Meadows, Brooks, and Minter due up for Columbus State. Excuse me, Brooks, Minter, and Brabston. And a first pitch base hit from Brooks.
Really just dominates that pull side. Even if he's not making solid contact, strong enough to just muscle the ball out into shallow left field.
This is the DH Minter who singled and scored back in the second inning. New ball game for Gabriel Partridge. Sure, he was the biggest fan of that offensive outburst in the bottom of the second.
Doing a bit of research on some conference stats, it seems that Columbus State has done a lot of their damage outside of conference. If you look at the in-conference stats, they actually both bat .310 on the year, both Flagler and Columbus State.
Wow. That's a good number. Good info.
However, home runs in favor of Columbus State, 44-7.
Wow. In conference play.
Yes, in just conference play.
And overall, 88 home runs from the Cougars as that one hits him. Or did it?
They're calling that a foul ball, it appears. And that'll bring Appleton out.
Now they're going to pull the glove off and show it where it hit him.
Well, getting hit in the hand, yeah, they're going to make the right call here. They bruise up pretty quickly, especially getting hit out on the hand. And now Dave Barnett's coming out to get an explanation.
Who knows when that bruise happened?
No swing.
So I think Dave Barnett's saying it happened on a swing. Either way, it's going to be first and second with nobody out for the Cougars, and the batter will be Colby Brabston, who walked and scored back in that 3-run second. That one missed. 2-0.
Gotta have that pitch. That one barely missed. I like what the Saints are doing here with the shift. We've seen it employed quite a lot this season, but you have Matthew Burke playing his more natural position over at second base, even though he is listed as the shortstop today.
Saints have been shifting all weekend, and here is ball 3 now. Partridge up to 55 pitches through 2+ innings.
Got some stirring in the bullpen for the Saints.
There's a strike.
Looks like Ryan Franklin getting going. If Partridge can't work his way out of this jam.
A 3-1. Fouled. Drifting. Jaden Ward gives it a look, but it's out of play. You would think the entire bullpen would be available here. Final regular season game.
Yeah, it's
play
all hands
again
on
until
deck.
the tournament this coming weekend, and it's not such a dire situation where you're facing a elimination game. You are definitely in the tournament either way.
But you'd love to host, and if you can control your own destiny and go into the tournament with a win, a big win here against number 6 team in Division 2.
Fly ball into left center. Ashton Thomas is going to take it, and he dropped it. Unfortunate mistake. Trey Newland was right there too, and I half expected Newland to call off Thomas, as Newland is the superior defender. Thomas
with a bit stronger of an arm. This was playing exactly how the previous inning played. Runners on first and second, no outs, a fly ball into sort of the left center gap almost. Thomas just took his eye off it right before anticipating having to make a good throw to cut down the runner tagging from second. Just took his eye off it, combined with the wind. An unfortunate break for the Saints.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out, and the batter is Wiley. First pitch swinging, fly ball to Newland. Brooks tags, and the throw will come into second base. And Columbus State goes back on top, 4-3 on the sac fly from Wiley.
The wind is really just making these Saints outfielders work. Newland at first came in, thought that ball was going to die up in the wind. Ended up drifting back, then coming back to his original spot. Ball's playing tricks out on Saints outfielders on these fly balls.
That brings up Matthew McDade, the second baseman, who singled home a run in the second and then came around to score himself. First pitch strike. A 1 checks his swing. No, they're going to say he went. So when is Greg Appleton going to poke out of the dugout and argue some ridiculous thing about that call?
It's been a rough weekend for the umpiring crew. They're working hard, though. All credit in the world to the umpires. We always appreciate umpires here at Drysdale Field. They're not having their best showing this weekend.
They seem to be at least susceptible to lobbying. At least here in the first 2 1/3 innings. That one nearly hit him.
Yeah, me too.
Why didn't the runner take off from second? I guess everyone on the field, including us, thought that would hit him. Did not. What?
Foul ball.
Foul ball. Okay.
Oh, okay. A foul ball is finally figured that out.
Confusing Sunday at baseball
Yeah,
so
so
far.
far.
There was like an argument over the drop there, and then there was another argument that there's interference. But they never called it.
1-2 the count. That one's high. This one into the gap in right center. And Griffin Garcia can't make the play. So now they've got the runner hung up between second and third. And they'll come home with it as they have Minter in a rundown.
9-6-2-5.
What is all of that?
For those doing the book at home, that's going to be scored a 9-6-2-5.
Okay.
Just your routine out here at Drysdale Field. So it looks like it's going to be runners at second and third now. Just
But
how
two outs.
Yeah, just how the doctor drew that one up.
I'm going as a no. Killer's choice. That's to be determined.
So the batter is John Pardue. Two and 0 now to Pardue. So Partridge can get out of this again with minimal damage if he can retire Pardue. And it's been kind of a wild inning.
You can say that again. It is not really how you draw up outs, but
Ground ball to Ward. Tough hop. Stays with it. Good defense by Jaden Ward. And it is a 4-3 lead. So just one run across despite a lot of congestion on the base paths. We head to the bottom of the third. 4-3 Columbus State. And welcome back. 4-3 Columbus State in a very entertaining game here at Drysdale Field. Trey Newland leads it off for the Saints. It's Newland, Burke, and Fiorenza. First pitch swinging, foul ball from Newland. Newland struck out in his first time up.
He's 1 for 9 in the series thus far.
Ground ball to second for McDade. Quickly one out.
No, it's originally on second base. So he got the third and kind of paused.
That brings up Matthew Burke, who singled back in the first inning.
Second, he was picking second, third. So he got on third base, just screwed him. I was trying to score. But does it?
First pitch strike.
Continuous play.
35 pitches now for Joyner. Compared to Partridge's 69, and there's a slow ground ball to first and Pardue, and there are 2 gone.
Hopefully we see a bit of a 2-out rally here from the Saints. First 2 guys go down very quickly on soft contact. I'd like to see John Fiorenza come out of the bit of slump that he's had in the series, just 1 for 8.
Waves at the first pitch. Strike 1. And now quickly behind 0-2. Joyner trying to settle in here after that rocky second inning. Partridge also had a tough second. This one chopped foul. Joyner quickly gets the 2 outs, the first 2 outs here in the third inning.
I just put down fieldless choice on my call, if it's a continuous play, I mean, I could have given, it should be an error. In my opinion, he did have to range over a bit to get it.
Yeah. Here's the 1-2. And misses inside. Wow. Ooh, good eye by John to lay off.
It's a tough pitch to take there. Right on the edge of being a strike. But
grounded foul.
No.
John doing a good job of staying alive here.
Just trying to prevent this from being a really quick inning and sending Partridge right back out onto the field.
There's a swing and a miss, the tag for the strikeout, and the Saints are gone in order here in the third inning. Still 4-3 Columbus State.
Start off with Curly, right?
Yep.
Okay. And we are back now. Dave Wenda moving over to the color chair. I'll be taking us through the next 3 innings here on the play-by-play call. Jordan Fauci. And it'll be Curley, Boughton, and Meadows due up. Gabriel Partridge remains on the mound as he drops in a first pitch strike.
70 pitches already for Partridge, so we'll see how long the Saints look to go with him. I think they have a couple of guys already loose, ready to come in if should they need him, or one of them.
We'd like to see Partridge get through at least this next inning. Hopefully a quick one for him. He's really had to battle these last 2, hasn't he, Dave?
He really has. Given up 3 in the second, 1 there in the third, but there was so much action on the base pass there in the second that he had a lot of stress to deal with.
That one is fouled down the left field line. Thomas running, makes the catch as he careens over the wall. A highlight play there out in left field for Ashton Thomas. Yeah, we always talk about the limited range of Ashton Thomas, but he shows off the wheels there. Didn't expect him to make that
beautiful
catch.
play. I really kind of lost sight of it because of our vantage point, but it sounded like he made a tremendous catch, a highlight-type catch.
Reminiscent of the Derek Jeter famous catch where he makes the catch and then dives over the wall. Thomas doing his best impression there of Derek Jeter out on... As that one is foul or line into right field. Griffin Garcia ranging makes the play.
A little shaky out there, but 2 quick outs, and that's exactly what Partridge would want here. Everything he could ask for is after a couple of tough innings and facing a lot of batters, having a lot of runners on the base pass, finally just getting through a couple of quick outs.
This will bring up David Meadows, the third baseman, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts on the day. Bit of redemption there, Dave, for both the left and right fielders for the Saints after a tough last inning for him.
Yeah, I mean, Griffin Garcia ended up not getting the error on that wild play, that 9-6-2-5 scoring decision. It was ruled a single, and then it was number 10, Minter, who was picked off or erased on the base paths.
That ball is grounded over to Jaden Ward. Looks like a 1-2-3 inning for the Saints here as Gabriel Partridge shuts down Columbus State in the top of the 4th inning. We'll be back with the top of the 5th. Cougars lead 5-3.
Sorry, I should have brought that back and introduced you. Finally. I see. Yeah, I initially just wrote down fielder's choice too, but that's
Tough one to score.
Now, if you had ruled it an error, because he kind of should have caught that. I mean, if it was nobody on base, that's an error, right? Probably.
He did have to range over, but...
Okay. Oh. Yeah.
And we are back now for the bottom of the 4th inning. It will be Jaden Ward, Ashton Thomas, and Luke Wellborn for the Saints, trailing by 1. Dave, what are we looking for from the Saints batters here?
Well, this is the part of the order where they got it going in the 2nd inning.
There's some soft contact over to the second baseman. Glove flip over to first for a nice play for the first out of the inning. That was Matthew McDade with the snazzy glove work.
Yeah, very nicely done by McDade. But this is that kind of the heart of the order that got it going with Ward's single, Thomas reaching on the ear, the single from Wellborn, the home run from Keith a couple of batters later. So you hope that here in the heart of the order that the Saints can get it going again, and they're down just a run. It seems like there's been so many Columbus State base runners, but it's a one-run ball game, 4-3.
This will bring up Ashton Thomas, the left fielder, as he lines one down for a single. Nice hard hit ball there from Ashton Thomas, who had a highlight play just in the previous half inning of work, where he was ranging quite a bit, made a catch in foul territory and went crashing over the wall.
Yeah, maybe that woke him up a little bit. Sometimes when you make the great defensive play, you feel like you're more engaged with the game, and he comes up and first pitch lines it into center field.
This will be Luke Wellborn. Wellborn with a hit already today, as there's a pitch that drops in for a strike from Joyner. Joyner thus far 45 pitches compared to 77 for Gabriel Partridge for the Saints.
Be fascinating to see, and it's a big if, but if the Saints can get to Tyler Keith, and that would be obviously runners aboard or runners have come around to score, you'd love to see what Tyler Keith could do, and then what is the game plan on the Columbus State side with their pitchers after the bomb he hit back in the second.
That'll be interesting to see, surely, as that one is fouled out of play down the left field line. It'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Saints first baseman.
Well, right now Keith is in the hole, so Wellborn and or Garcia would have to reach.
The pitch is grounded back to the pitcher. Throw on to second is dropped. That will go down as an error on the shortstop. Now the Saints have runners at first and second. This brings up Griffin Garcia, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded into a double play back in the second inning. What a big spot here for someone who's gotten limited playing time. We haven't really seen quite a lot of Griffin Garcia.
No, I mean, 6 at bats so far. This is his 7th. And, maybe this is just conjecture, but what if Griffin lays down a bunt here, just tries to move the runners into scoring position with 2 outs for the very hot-hitting Keith, who has a couple of home runs in the last 2 days? And he does show bunt.
He pops that one up, and that will be caught for an out. Costly error there for the Saints, as they love to play small ball there. It comes back to bite him as Griffin couldn't get the bunt down. That brings up Tyler Keith, though, who's been swinging an extremely hot bat.
Yeah, this is what the scenario we were hoping for. 2 on with arguably the hottest hitter in the lineup at the plate, the guy who had the 2-run home run back in the second.
As that one is grounded through for a base hit. Thomas will be held up at third. But now the bases will be juiced for the freshman, Zach Thomas.
Another great piece of hitting by Tyler Keith. The inside-out swing, he goes the other way with it. Not hard enough hit or placed well enough to bring home Ashton Thomas, but now Zach Thomas with an RBI opportunity.
Thomas, the freshman, has shown us quite a bit in this series, has played extremely well in a huge spot here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, trailing by 1. First pitch from Joyner misses low and outside for ball 1.
Just an update on Young Harris and Georgia Southwestern. It's in the top of the third, still scoreless. Again, the Saints looking for that hosting opportunity should Young Harris lose or if Flagler wins.
That pitch is in the zone on the outside corner for the first strike of the at-bat. Count will be now 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch misses low and outside now. 2 balls and a strike. Composure for Zach Thomas, but he's been up in big spots. He's made big defensive plays in the series. Batting .400 on the year with only 10 at-bats. As he lines that one over to the second baseman, McDade. Unfortunate break there for the Saints. Thomas put a good piece of hitting on it, but that will do it for the 4th inning. Saints still trail by 1 as Columbus State gets out of the inning with no damage done.
That one hurts.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And we are back now, top of the 5th, starting momentarily. Gabriel Partridge remains on the mound for the Saints. Had a very nice 1-2-3 inning in his last half inning of work. Gonna have to go through the heart of the lineup here for Columbus State. Brooks, Minter, and Brabston due to bat. Robert Brooks has been phenomenal with the bat in this series.
Yeah, this is a dangerous part of the lineup, and they've all reached base today so far. 3, 4, 5. Tough stretch here for Partridge as the bat comes out of the hands. And remember, the Saints don't have a lot of depth in the bullpen. They've had some injuries down there that have cut short the seasons of a couple of their long relievers. And so they're counting on Partridge perhaps to get through at least this 5th, if not go further.
As that one is lined into center field, Newland underneath makes the catch for out number 1. As Dave was just saying, it has been tough for the Saints bullpen. Some guys have stepped up. Dylan Faulkner on Friday night came up huge with that save.
And he comes in a pressure situation with men on base and gets the strikeout to end the game with the tying run at 3rd.
First pitch from Partridge misses low.
There's just not a lot of depth here. And again, I'm sure the Saints will use every available arm they have down there. They probably aren't in a situation where they'd say, hey, Gage Voorhees or Seth Wysocki, starters earlier in the weekend, you need to come back, a la a Randy Johnson type or a type situation. But I'm sure every reliever
all
is
hands
available.
On deck. It's going to be all hands on deck.
That's a better way to say it.
For the Saints. As that pitch drops in for a strike on the outside corner. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes to the designated hitter, Steven Minter. Minter's reached today and came around to score a run. Also has been hit by a pitch.
Yeah, there's really not a lot of let up in this lineup. There's not really a batter you can take off if you're the opposing pitcher.
As a beauty of a breaking ball gets Minter down on strikes. 2 quick outs now for Gabriel Partridge. Partridge has had quite a lot of high pressure pitches thus far, but he seemed to take it in stride and now has settled down a bit, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, he faced 9 batters in the 2nd inning, and let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it was in the 3rd inning. So, but he's had a clean inning in the 4th, and now 2 up and 2 down to start the 5th.
This brings up Colby Brabston, the sophomore left fielder here for the Cougars. That'll be 2 balls and no strikes now. Brabston reached on a walk, came around to score. As that pitch misses low, now the count will be 3 balls and no strikes. Saints drastically shifted. You have Matthew Burke, the shortstop, playing out in short right field as Partridge drops in a strike, the first strike at the at-bat.
Yeah, I think if you're Partridge here, you've got to go right at him, even though it's dangerous. A guy like Brabson, great hitter.
As that one is grounded right into the shift, it'll be Thomas with the throw on to first, and that will retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. Gabriel Partridge works through the heart of the Cougars lineup and shuts him down.
Was it? What's it called? In Eugene, huh? It's not the old like Northwest Christian College, is it? Yeah, I mean, they're constantly changing their, at least the mascot. They changed their mascot while I was there, but Bushnell. They're the Beacons. Oh, then that's Northwest Christian. That's Northwest Christian. They were the Crusaders, and then that was like politically incorrect, so they changed to the Beacons because they're a Christian school. Huh? Did they really? Yeah. Yeah, and kind of evil in a way. Yeah. Ooh.
Must be getting an early start.
Top of the lineup due up for the Saints now in the bottom of the 5th inning. They trail by 1. It will be Newland, Burke, and Fiorenza. Top of the lineup has been struggling as of late for the Saints.
Yeah, that's exactly right. At least Burke, has a hit among that group today, but the only one.
Someone should be there.
Love to see Trey Newland get on base here. Speedy guy, puts a lot of pressure on opposing pitchers. 21 steals on the year, which I believe is has he tied or surpassed
I'll check
Mason
that out
Gray?
for you. That's a good question. He was in second behind teammate Mason Gray, and I think he was 2 or 3 behind as we checked it Friday.
Count will be no balls and 2 strikes now as that pitch misses outside. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Saints center fielder. But game-breaking speed, shows a lot of range out in center field. Trey Newland does.
Yeah, Gray has 25 to Newland's 21. So 1-2 for the Saints in stolen bases in the conference. And Columbus State's David Meadows has 19, so he's right there in third.
Count will be 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the Saints center fielder. So that one is grounded over to the shortstop. Charging, throw on to first, just beats Trey Newland. A great play from Isaac Boughton for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and again, we talked about these teams have scouted each other so well. Boughton knew he needed to get rid of that quickly because there's really no room for error with Trey Newland getting down that first baseline.
Exactly. That usually would just be a routine ground ball. You sit back and make the throw, but the speed, great call there from Dave, forced Boughton to charge in. This brings up Matthew Burke, who gets hit by a pitch. I believe he leads the Peach Belt Conference in hit by pitches.
Well, let me just check and see. I have the stats right here.
He's just a magnet for getting on base.
You're right. That's his 20th hit by pitch, which is 3 better than Rome Wallace of Young Harris, and also Colby Brabston, who has 17 on the year.
This brings up John Fiorenza, runner on first for the Saints catcher, who is 0 for 2 on the day.
Getting back to the hit by a pitch, doesn't it seem like the old rule of you're supposed to try to get out of the way has gone by the wayside?
Oh, yeah.
Because it almost looked like Burke leaned into that slightly. He certainly wasn't trying to dodge it.
Yeah, you want to get on base by any means necessary. If the pitcher is going to try to get inside, it's kind of a battle of will. If you're willing to get hit by the pitch, they don't feel good. So you're going to take some punishment if you're going to kind of crowd the plate. But all in all, Matthew Burke, the best in the Peach Belt Conference at doing it.
Right.
As he dives back in. Back-to-back pickoff attempts on Matthew Burke, who's stolen a few bases on the year, 2 for 2 in stolen bases. But John Fiorenza, the bat has gone cold for him in the series, but he's been, all in all, the best Saints batter this season. One-0 on the way and misses outside. Count will be 2 balls and no strikes now to the Saints catcher.
Next time you go play Copperhead Road, I'll make John happy.
He's got to be spread up here.
Oh, no. Surprised he hasn't been up here yet.
He might grab the mic and say it.
Oh,
Check swing appeal, and he did go. Count will be 2 balls and 1 strike now to John Fiorenza. Would love to see Fiorenza get his first hit of the series here.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for it. Down a run with a runner on.
Pitch misses low. Now count will be 3 balls and 1 strike. A hitter's count here for John Fiorenza. Great eye as always. Both of the Saints catchers who are both in the lineup, Tyler Keep, DH, both are exceptional at seeing a lot of pitches, have a very good understanding of the strike zone. As that pitch drops in for a strike, count will be full now.
Now, you got to give a lot of credit to Colton Joyner. He had that rough second inning, but he's bounced back and has been really tough on the Saints.
Both pitchers in this game, it's been very similar outings for both of them, dealing with a lot of traffic on the base paths, and both have done a great job. Joyner a bit more economical, only 60 pitches on the day. Burke takes off, throw down. It's ball 4. That'll be a walk.
It was going to be a close play.
Very close play. The throw beat Burke to the bag, but all for naught as John Fiorenza draws the walk. This brings up Jaden Ward.
Great opportunity here in Columbus State.
They're gonna come out and have a conference.
Talk about it. You know, there's a reason they're the number 6 team in the country. They're not taking anything for granted. They've already sewn up the Peach Belt regular season title, but they realize how important this game is to the rest of how the league kind of shakes out as we go into the tournament, and they want to win here and finish out the regular season by winning yet another series and finishing up with a victory.
As they talk it over on the mound, we'll thank a few of our corporate sponsors. Carmelo's, delivering old world quality. Carrabba's, so close you can taste it. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. And South State Bank, welcome to banking forward.
So Robert Brooks is done with this conference. We talked about how good Brooks is with the bat, but he's called a good game, certainly back there.
Oh yeah, he's done a fantastic job. A two-way player, or two-way talent, really, for the Cougars. Very good defender. Showed off a very strong throw, even though it was ball 4 down to second base. First pitch to Ward is fouled off. Count will be no balls and 1 strike to the Saints' third baseman. Batting .323 on the year. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Came around to score a run. Had that leadoff single back in the second inning. As that one is grounded up the middle. Shortstop will take it himself. Throw on to first will be in time, and that will do it for the 5th inning. Solid defensive plays from Isaac Boughton for the Cougars as they lead 4-3. That's a killer right there.
That was
rolled
tough.
up how many double plays? That has to be 3 or 4.
That's 1. Yeah, 3.
they're sitting at number 3 in the region. Columbus.
Yeah.
I don't think not winning or losing do anything for them. But, one game's in front of them. Best game in the back. I think one game's ranked number 1 in the country. And then, but ranked ahead of them is Greenville.
Okay.
Currently
Oh,
best team in the region.
how does that work?
The NCAA is more metric.
Okay. It's not. This is just coach. This is just coach full, right? Okay.
So behind Columbus is Denver. Denver should close to the
third in the region, but they're sixth in the country. Wow. There's what, 8 regions?
Partridge remains on the mound here for the Saints as we start the top of the 6th inning. It will be Wiley, McDade, and Pardue for the Cougars, who lead 4-3. Partridge on his first pitch of the 6th inning hits Wiley. There'll be a runner on first for McDade, the second baseman, who is 2 for 2 on the day with a run scored and an RBI. Swinging a hot bat here so far, Dave. Saints come out in the shift for...
Yeah, and as you would figure, the innings that Partridge has struggled, he's allowed the leadoff guy to get aboard. Now, you know, the second inning where they scored the 3 runs, and then the third inning where they scored the 1 run. Both times he allowed leadoff singles. This time a leadoff hit by pitch. Either way, the leadoff batter is aboard.
91 pitches on the day so far for Partridge. As that one has popped up, could be a play for Luke Wellborn, drifting over to the fence and just out of his reach as that falls foul. Count will be 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Cougars' second baseman.
Yeah, it just ran out of room. And there's a fair amount of foul territory here at Drysdale Field. And there's some room over there, but just not quite enough for Wellborn to make the play.
On a less windy day, that's probably an out here.
That's a good point, as the wind is blowing in now from left to right, and that probably pushed it just enough out of play.
That pitch hits McDade as it appears that Gabriel Partridge is having some control issues here to start the 6th inning.
You could hear the thump up here in the press box. I caught him maybe on the shoulder blade or something, but there was an audible
thump there.
Yes.
That never feels good. There's been quite a few hit by pitches today. Is that maybe 3 or 4?
That's 3 by my count. From Partridge.
From Partridge, and then we just had the hit by pitch on
Matthew Burke.
Bunt shown, but pulled back as that one misses high. The batter will be Pardue, the first baseman for the Cougars.
So again, Columbus State playing for that insurance run. Good baseball, smart baseball. Try to move the runners up with nobody out.
Bunt shown but pulled back again as Wellborn's charging aggressively from first base. I imagine have Jaden Ward stay put at third. So the defensive coverage would fall on to Partridge to cover the left side of the infield. That bunt is popped up and back to the backstop. Count will be 2 balls and 1 strike. But we're seeing a bit of small ball here from a team that generally hits for power.
Yeah, and I think that's a credit to their coaching staff. They realize what the situation is here, and they're playing situational baseball. Looking for that insurance run, not thinking that 4-3 lead is safe.
Bunt gets down, throw from Wellborn is high. It's going to be an error on Gabriel Partridge. Wellborn tried, that was Tyler. That was Zach Thomas coming over on coverage. Made a bit of an athletic play. Thought he may have held the bag, but Dave just came off the bat. Game of inches here.
Yeah, and Partridge has done this damage to himself, and we're going to make a pitching change. We'll talk about it more on the other side. top of the third. Shouldn't they have like a? Shouldn't they have a live stream of it? I don't see it. Be under multimedia, right?
The book closes on Gabriel Partridge's day for the Saints. Ryan Franklin, the freshman, coming in a high-pressure situation here. In his last appearance, goes 1 inning, no earned runs, with only 1 walk allowed. High-pressure situation here for the freshman.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to come in here for Franklin, but Partridge kind of dug himself a hole with the 2 hit-by pitches and then the throwing error.
First pitch here to Connor Curley, the center fielder for the Cougars. Swung on and missed. Nice high fastball there from Franklin. Curley has been hot at the bottom half of the lineup, hasn't he, Dave?
Yeah, a single and an RBI. Today's 1 for 2. And look at how he did in the series so far. Curley, hitting .375 coming in, 3 for 8, so now 4 for 9 in the series with a run and a rib.
Franklin with a 6.41 ERA this year. 1-1 pitch in for a strike. Count now be 1 ball and 2 strikes. A strikeout would be huge.
Strikeout would be great, and then, wish list, but a double play would be great on top of that, but just get an out here.
Yeah, that's the most you can ask. The best scenario here would be an out. 1-2 pitch on the way from Franklin. Breaking ball just misses a little bit high and outside.
Now, both the corner infielders playing in right at the cut of the grass, but the middle infielders playing for the double play here. So the Saints will concede a run if they can turn 2.
It is raining.
2-2 swung on and missed. Huge strikeout for the freshman left-hander, as now he's going to have to go through 1 and 2 in the lineup for the Cougars. And this brings up the shortstop, Isaac Boughton.
Yeah, back to the top of the order. Boughton has an RBI and a hit today. He's 1 for 3.
Saints shifting here, bringing Zach Thomas behind the bag, bit on the shortstop side, the second baseman. As that pitch gets away from John Fiorenza, they'll score a run, a rare. We're going to put a wild pitch down.
It's a wild pitch,
It appeared that one hit off the plate and shot way up over Fiorenza's head. A real tough break for the Saints, as now that eliminates the double play opportunity. And now the infield will be in with runners at second and third.
Franklin pats his chest as have to say, that was my bad, and it was. So the Saints pitchers have really kind of created the problems for themselves with the hit by pitches and the error. Now a wild pitch.
That pitch is fouled out of play down the right field line. That'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. But yeah, both teams have kind of shot themselves in the foot thus far. 2 errors on both sides. It's been a sloppy game.
It has. It's been kind of a wild game. Been entertaining, though.
Oh, yeah. As that...
Did that hit him?
Yes, that's going to be another hit by pitch for the Saints. 3 in the inning as Isaac Boughton reaches base. The bases will now be loaded. There was a free base open, so it's not the end of the world. Saints now have the double play opportunity, but we're going to have another pitching change in the inning as Coach Dave Barnett comes out to the mound. We'll be back in a second to inform you with who comes in. And we are back now. Brad Vondruska takes over on the mound. He pitched last night, goes 2/3 of an inning with a strikeout, no runs allowed. Comes in a huge situation here with the bases loaded and 1 out. He will face David Meadows, the third baseman for the Cougars.
You think of Vondruska as the guy who was battling Jaden Ward for the third base spot, but he's actually making his 7th appearance, and he's been pretty effective at 3.0 ERA, giving up 4 hits and 6 innings of work.
As that one is driven high into left field, Wind knocks it down. Thomas underneath it. Thomas has a strong arm, but he's just going to lob this one in to the cutoff man, as that was a bit too deep for a play to be made at home. So that sacrifice fly will bring in a run. The Cougars extend their lead to 3 runs. The score will now be 6-3. This brings up the best hitter on this Cougars team, Robert Brooks.
Yeah, this is dangerous. You know, still 2 runners on with 2 outs, a 6-3 lead. 2 runs across already. You want to keep it within striking distance if you're the Saints, as you're starting to run out of outs.
First pitch from Vondruska misses inside. But this shows just the versatility of the Saints. Some injuries in the bullpen, and Brad Vondruska makes the transition.
Yeah, backup third baseman and now a relief pitcher and making his 2nd appearance in as many days.
That'll be 2 balls and no strikes now to the Cougars catcher, a power hitter, 16 home runs on the year, as that pitch drops in for a strike. Hasn't shown much of that power this series. The wind has been a factor for him. Big guy, likes to pull the ball as shown by the shift. as that one is driven into deep center field. Newland back at the wall, and he crashes into the wall. That's going to score a few. That's going to clear the bases as Brooks is on his way to third. And that is a bases-clearing triple. Trey Newland went extremely hard into center field. He appears to just is going to just shake it off, but
yeah, that ball, you talk about the wind, and the wind is blowing in again steadily from center field, but Brooks showing off that raw power, hits the ball into the wind all the way out there to the 400 sign in center field, and Newland just did not slow down. I mean, just full speed into the wall. Hopefully he's okay. You'd think a trainer might check on him, but he's obviously waved it off. And 2 more runs coming to score. It's a huge inning for Columbus State.
Saints with a bit of luck there. The cutout, the dimensions of Saints Field with that high center field wall prevented that from being a home run to dead centers. That one is grounded down the line. Jaden Ward is going to not be able to make the play. That's going to go down as an error as a run comes in. It's now a 9-3 ball game, a really costly 6th inning for the Saints. As errors, and we're going to have yet another pitching change here as head coach Dave Barnett comes out to the mound. Be back in just a second to bring you the new pitcher and the rest of this ball game. I'm surprised the trainer didn't go out. You could hear him crash into the wall.
Just check on it, make sure it's okay. And anything, you kind of like break up the rhythm and the momentum here.
That would have been, if the wall didn't cut out like it did, that was gone. That hit high off that wall.
Yeah.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Wow.
Jesus.
What? How far is that? Like close 450? Over 500? Wow.
Wow. So he's just the one telling people about the ball that he hit 500 feet. There's no proof of it.
Who is this? 15?
No fee. 35.
Oh, 35. How many of these runs are?
And we are back now. Anthony Nofi coming into the game, the Hanover, Massachusetts native. It's been a tough inning here for the Saints. 2 outs as the first pitch misses high. It'll be Colby Brabston up to bat now for the Cougars.
Yeah, the Cougars have batted around. This is the 4th pitcher of the inning for the Saints.
As that's going to be a balk on Anthony Nofi as he stepped over to pick off the runner at first, who made a jump and then came home to the plate. There'll be a runner in scoring position now for Brabston. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. Nofi this summer headed back to Massachusetts, playing for the Brockton Rocks with a few former Major League sons Keith Folk and Keith Folk and Manny Ramirez's sons both play for the Brockton Rocks. That breaking ball misses now. 3 balls and 1 strike.
You know, it's a dangerous lineup, but really a lot of this is self-inflicted by the Saints. 3 hit by pitches, an error on the pitcher on the throw. 4 of the 5 runs are unearned in this inning.
And that's another hit by pitch. And now there'll be runners on first and second. And Derek Wiley comes back up to bat. You couldn't have said it better, Dave. And just as you said it, there's another hit by pitch. And it's just been a real bad inning for the Saints. It's rare to see them blow up like this. And
yeah, 4 hit by pitches in the inning. I wonder what the Flagler record is. Just kidding, John Jordan, our SID. I'm sure he could figure that out, but
is that
probably
line?
Not at his fingertips.
Foul, just foul, as that could have been very bad for the Saints. Wiley on the year batting .329 with 14 home runs as he flies one into the right center gap. Griffin Garcia underneath it makes the catch, and the inning is finally over. The Cougars get 5 and expand their lead. The game will be 9-3 now. Be back for the bottom of the 6th inning momentarily.
Wow. God, that's brutal.
And we are back now for the bottom of the 6th inning. It will be Thomas, Wellborn, and Garcia due to bat. Pitching change here for the Cougars. Joyner exits, allowing 3 runs, only 1 of which earned. And this brings up the new pitcher, Zach Brockman.
Yeah, Brockman's been tough. 15th appearance. He's 3-0 with a 2.21 ERA.
His last appearance, he goes 2/3 of an inning, allowing 1 hit, no runs. That was on the 30th, so that was Friday. Or no, that was yesterday. All out of sorts here. It's been a crazy game here for the Saints. Rare to see just the mental errors and the physical mistakes that they've made. Generally a really strong defensive team, and a really smart team, and the pitching's been very good this year. It's been a strong suit for the Saints.
It has, but you don't have, one of your top two guys going today, and so it really just everything kind of went wrong that could go wrong there in the top of the 6th inning. Again, 5 runs, just 1 earned, 4 hit by pitches, an error, and they score 5 runs on just 1 hit.
It'll be 3 balls and 1 strike now to the Saints left fielder Ashton Thomas. That is grounded weakly to the first base side. The pitcher is not going to be able to make the play. Going to go down as a base hit. Would have been a tough play for either the first baseman or the pitcher. Both had an opportunity to come in and make the play. Just really hitting the perfect spot for Ashton Thomas, who's no slouch, not the fastest guy in the world, but he does get moving down the line.
Yeah, he got down the line pretty well right there.
And now it'll be Luke Wellborn up with a runner on first. Saints have grounded into a double play quite a few times here. You hate to see that happen again.
Yeah, 3 times it's happened today for the Saints. And again, for Flagler, you've got 4 innings remaining, and you need to make up 6 runs.
Gonna have a conference out on the mound as Brooks and Brockman both get a little conversation in here about what to do with Luke Wellborn. We've seen pretty much in most of the at-bats today that they've stayed away from Luke Wellborn. Most of the pitch has been to the outside part of the plate.
That's a good point, yep. Don't want to mess with arguably the Saints' most selective hitter. Meanwhile, at Georgia Southwestern, the tarp has just come off the field. That's a scoreless game. The Saints don't have to win to host to the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. They could get in, kind of back in with a Young Harris loss.
That's a nice piece of opposite field hitting for a single. Runners move station to station now. Back-to-back singles for the Saints brings up Griffin Garcia.
Well, that's what you need. You need base runners. And take it 1 at bat at a time here and just try to chip away at this 6-run deficit.
We were just talking about how pitchers have been staying away from Luke Wellborn, but we were talking about Coach Dave Barnett speaks very highly of the ability of Luke Wellborn, and he's made an adjustment here and has just started peppering the left side of the field.
Yeah, both of his hits have been the other way.
Brings up Griffin Garcia, his brother, Donovan Garcia, the regular right fielder for the Saints after Miles Colangelo went down with injury. Griffin getting his first start of the year. He's 0 for 2 on the day. But comes up yet again with runners on. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes to the Saints right fielder. Now 3-0 as that pitch from Brockman misses high.
When you've got Tyler Keith on deck, and with 1 swing, he can bring home a lot of runs. So you would think that Garcia would be taking all the way here 3-0 and not potentially making out or even a double play.
Shows bunt, pulls it back. As that drops in for a strike, I imagine the bunt's going to remain on as Garcia looks down to third, or the head coach Dave Barnett, who's down to third base. Garcia looked like he was a bit confused there.
A little defensive swing. He might have been crossed up.
Count will be full now to Garcia. But back to Tyler Keith. As that pitch is fouled back. Keith has been fantastic with the bat in his hands. The hottest of the Saints batters in this series.
Yes, he has. A couple of home runs in this series, including the bomb today, a 2-run shot back in the second that tied the game.
3-2 pitch on the way. Looked at for ball 4. Huge at bat there.
Yeah, that was great.
Garcia.
You know, he did make an out. He didn't ground into a double play as he did back in the second inning. He gets on base, loads it up for Tyler Keith, and now we may see another change.
It appears we're going to have a pitching change here, and we'll be back. Saints looking to do some damage here. Bases loaded. They're only down by 6 runs, but you have Tyler Keith coming up. We'll bring you back momentarily.
What?
For his name.
Seahafer. Yeah.
And we are back now. Pitching change shows the importance of this moment. Logan Seahafer comes into the game. He's the closer here for the Cougars. 4 saves on the year for the left-hander, 288 earned run average, and he faces the hottest batter in the Saints lineup.
Tyler Keith with the bases loaded.
As he gets ear-holed on the first pitch. Luckily, he had a helmet on. He appears to just shake that one off, as that's going to bring in a run. Terrible start here for Seahafer. First pitch. We've seen quite a lot of hit by pitches today.
I know. Well, they have been the bugaboo of the Saints, and now it comes back to bite Columbus State here with the very first pitch thrown by Seahafer.
Zach Thomas now stepping into the box. The freshman coming into today, batting .400. He comes up with the bases loaded and no outs. He is 0 for 2 with the strikeout today thus far, as that pitch misses low, and inside will be 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave, this game's not out of reach.
No, absolutely. And, you know, Columbus State thinks that this is a very important juncture in this game. They bring in their closer, the guy who has at least leads the team in saves with 4. They also have a guy who has 3 in Peyton Burton. But, you know, in the 6th inning, you bring in a high leverage guy because you're facing a bases loaded situation with, you know, the power bat of Keith up. So obviously Columbus State taking this situation very seriously, not very comfortable with this now 5-run lead.
And yet another high leverage at bat for the freshman Zach Thomas. But this is something that we've seen in baseball recently, instead of having the traditional closer that's always coming in the ninth, it's more high leverage. Your best guy comes out in the biggest spots, which has been an evolution of the game.
Absolutely. And if the Saints can get to this guy and do some damage here and touch him up for a couple of runs, and they've gotten one already, then you've done some damage. You've gotten deeper into that bullpen.
3-2 pitch spoiled by Thomas. No outs. Count is full. And the Saints only trailing by 5 runs.
Still nobody out.
Seaver sets. 3-2 pitch. Misses inside for a walk. Some control issues. That one nearly hit Zach Thomas. And with the way that the game has been going, I was expecting that to just hit him, considering it seems like everyone's getting hit by pitches. And now the top of the lineup comes back around for the Saints.
Yeah, they've already used a couple of pitchers, relievers here in this inning, and now looks like the one of the assistants, perhaps the pitching coach, will come out and talk to Seehafer after his first two batters have not gone well. A hit by pitch brings in a run. Now a walk brings in another run. It's a 4-run lead, and the tying run comes to the plate with nobody out in the form of Trey Newland. This is a great opportunity for the Saints to chip away. You're not going to get necessarily all 4 back at once, but if you can continue to put guys on base, continue to go station to station, you put a lot of pressure on the Columbus State pitching staff.
And this is a huge spot for the center fielder, Trey Newland, for the Saints. 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout and a pair of ground outs. Be a great time for his first hit of the game. But both of these teams seem to be mirroring each other.
Yeah, and if you're the Saints and Seehafer's struggling to find the plate, you take some pitches here and force him to find the strike zone.
You saw while that meeting on the mound was going on, you have head coach Dave Barnett talking to his batter, Trey Newland. I must be carrying the same sentiment of what you just said, Dave.
Yeah, be patient and, make him hurt himself.
As that is a beautiful breaking ball. Count be 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Trey Newland, who's found himself in a hole, has been struggling as of late with the bat. Only 1 for 11 on the series. Or 2 for 11 on the series, my mistake. Both singles he's reached on.
And the outfield playing very shallow as well.
That is grounded to third base. 5-4. And Newland shows off his speed to beat out the throw. It's a productive out for the Saints. It could have been a very dangerous or a very unfortunate break. It would have been another double play with the bases loaded. But Trey Newland not giving up and just hustles his way down to first, shows off those legs.
Yeah, he picks up the RBI in the fielder's choice, and it continues the inning. It scores a run for the Saints. Now they're within 3. They were down 6, remember, to start the inning.
And it will be a 9-6 ball game with Matthew Burke up to bat, as that breaking ball misses low. Burke has been hit by a pitch, also had a leadoff single all the way back in the 2nd inning, or the 3rd inning. As that pitch misses as well. That'll be 2 balls and no strikes. Could we see Trey Newland take off here, Dave?
Why not? Distract the pitcher who's already struggling a bit with his control.
As he drops in a strike there.
Although, down 3, you don't necessarily want to get caught stealing on the base paths and give up an out here as you have, 2, 3, and 4 potentially coming up here.
we haven't seen the Saints steal nearly as many bags as they usually do. As that's a line drive into left field. Could be extra bases. Trey Newland's going to get to third. Throw to second is going to get Matthew Burke caught up in a rundown. Throw on to first. Bit of congestion on the base pass. Now Newland sends it home, and he is called out. A very close play at the plate. It looked like Newland may have slipped his hand past the tag. Head coach Dave Barnett's going to come in and argue. Coach Dave Barnett is irate. This is the most animated I've seen him in quite some time.
Yeah, and if the tag was there, they tagged him on the hand, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Dave Barnett is saying his hand was on the plate when the tag was made, and Dave makes his point very intensely but succinctly. And yet another run has come across. That's the positive.
Yeah, the positive is that a run came across. Burke did what you're supposed to do when you're caught up in a rundown, stayed alive, and that was a real bang-bang play. The Cougars just executed there, but they put pressure on and forced the Cougars to make a play. Now John Fiorenza comes up to the plate with a runner in scoring position. That breaking ball drops in for a strike. Would love to see John Fiorenza put some juice into a baseball here, as this game has just been wild from start to finish.
I'm sure John would just take a base hit at this point.
So there's another breaking ball. That one misses outside. It's a very, very tight breaking ball from It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike now to Fiorenza. Another breaking ball. Steady diet of breaking balls here.
Yeah, a little bit surprising from the closer. It seems like he was having trouble locating the fastball, and he has more confidence in the breaking pitches.
It's a very nice looking breaking pitch from our angle here. Very tight, but has some speed to it as well. And might be a scouting report thing, as now fastball drops in for a strike. Got 2s across the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Saints have done some damage so far. Have Matthew Burke at second base and trail by 2. Two pitch on the way. Spoiled by Fiorenza.
Yeah, good job by Fiorenza. Not going to do a whole lot with that pitch. Tough to handle. Just go ahead and foul it off and live to fight another pitch.
Cougars shifting a bit on Fiorenza, playing him pretty much to the pole as Seaver steps off. Fastball misses inside, nearly hit Fiorenza, who ducked out of the way of that one. Count will be full. Burke's going to have a head start here at second base. Seaver comes set. 3-2. Opposite way, going to get through. Burke is going to be sent home as there is another run for the Saints. They make it a 1-run ball game. John Fiorenza comes through in the clutch.
Great piece of hitting by John. Just worked the count full, spoiled off the pitches that he really couldn't handle, and then just really had to fight that one off the other way. And that ball just found its way through the infield for a base hit and an RBI, and now it's 9-8 just like that. We were pretty much down in the dumps after that huge inning, that 5-run inning in the 6th, and now the Saints have matched it in the bottom half.
Now Jaden Ward comes up to bat, have Fiorenza at first, but yeah, these teams have mirrored each other in pretty much every single way.
Yeah, look at the scoreboard. 3s for each of the second, 5s for each in the 6th. The one difference is that lone run in the 3rd inning.
As Jaden Ward gets an opposite field hit, going to move the runners station to station. But the Saints are now putting some pressure on. This is the best relief pitcher on this Cougars team.
Seehafer has struggled. I mean, when he came in with a hit by pitch and then followed that up with a walk and was able to get the fielder's choice off the bat of Newland, but then 3 consecutive singles now, and Ashton Thomas bats for the second time in the inning.
Ashton Thomas has been fantastic so far today as well. 2 for 2, reached on an error as well, scored 2 runs. First pitch from Seehafer drops in for a strike. He's really just relying on that breaking ball now, Dave.
Yeah, and we'll see what Columbus State intends to do here. It doesn't look like anyone's up working in their dugout, so this is Seehafer's inning to finish.
As that's going to be a ground ball over to McDade. Throw on to first is going to do it, but the Saints get 5 back and now only trail by 1. It's a ball game here at Drysdale Field.
All right. Okay. Fun stuff. I don't envy your job today, John. That really makes it work. Southwestern has a center field camera too. Looks like they have at least 2. Huh? And welcome back. We've got a ball game 9-8 as we head to the top of the 7th inning. The Saints answer that 5 spot of the Cougars with 5 of their own in the home half of the 6th. And now it's a 1-run game. Matthew McDade, John Pardue, and Connor Curley due up to face Anthony Nofi.
I like what Nofi does out on the mound. Doesn't have the most velocity on his fastball, a bit of a soft lefty, but he just knows how to pitch and he knows how to use a very good curveball.
0-2 quickly to McDade, who's 2 for 2 today. He's reached all 3 times, also hit by a pitch. He scored a run and driven in a run. In fact, he scored 2 runs. The 0-2 to him is just a bit outside. Slip out of his hand, perhaps, or
yeah. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there. I don't think it's possible to really miss that far out if it doesn't slip out of your hand.
Almost looked like an ephus pitch. So the count's 1-2. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Cougars, 3 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 5 in the 6th. For the Saints, 3 runs in the second and 5 in the 6th inning. Breaking pitch.
Ooh.
Somehow misses, and now the count has gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
Gotta have that one. You gotta have that one.
I think even McDade thought that was a strike. It looked like he was turning to head back to the dugout. Instead, the count is full. And strike 3 called on the inner half. And McDade with a glare after that one.
You know what we call that? That's a makeup call right there. Because that one definitely missed inside, but the previous pitch was definitely a strike. So they evened up the game. That's some veteran umpiring there from the home plate umpire, John Puma.
Brings up John Pardue, who's 0 for 3. First pitch is high. Nofi's a little wild here. Nofi, the 4th pitch of the game. Gabriel Partridge started, then gave way to Ryan Franklin and Brad Von Druska very briefly, and then it's been Nofi. A good bending ball there for a strike.
He loves that curveball, and it's just such a beaut to watch. He can really just change pace with it, and he can locate it for strikes, which is the biggest part.
Yeah, line drive base hit. Good piece of hitting for Pardue for his first hit of the game. And so there's 1 on and 1 out for Connor Curley. Curley 1 for 3 today, a single and an RBI back in the second.
Curley coming into the series batting .375. He was 8 for 3 coming into today.
Seven of the regulars for Columbus State batting .300 or better coming in. Bunt laid down. It's a beauty. This could go for a hit, and it will not be a throw.
That's just a perfectly placed bunt right there.
Perfect.
You can't do much better than that. You had to bring Zach Thomas in from second base to field, and we're going to get another pitching change as looks like, Dave Barnett's coming out to make a change.
I'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back here to Drysdale Field.
Davian Garcia.
Wasn't Garcia the guy who got in all kinds of trouble in the 9th on Friday?
Yes.
Yeah. A walk and a hit.
Imagine they're probably going to save Faulkner to bring in if this game stays close. But they're running out. They're burning through both.
Yeah, they really are.
I wouldn't be surprised if Voorhees came out at some point. Too.
You really?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He did throw a lot of pitches, but if the same, I imagine that there's at least one assistant coach watching the scoreboard
Of Georgia Southwestern.
And I know for a fact they want to host.
Yeah. And welcome back here to St. Augustine. The fifth pitcher of the day for the Saints is Davian Garcia, freshman right-hander out of Tampa, 6', 175. Garcia on the season, making his 10th appearance. He's 0-1, a 4.60 ERA, 15 2/3 innings of work, 13 hits, 9 runs, 8 of them earned, 7 walks, and 15 strikeouts.
Garcia has really good velocity, just can sometimes struggle to locate and will leave some of his breaking pitches up in the zone, which against a team like this is bad news just about every time.
The batter's Isaac Boughton. And he hits him with the first pitch. There's the control you talked about, or lack of.
This has to be breaking records here in most hit pitches in a game. They're combined, both teams just wearing baseballs left and right.
6, I believe, hit by pitches from Saints pitching today. And now the bases are loaded. So just when the Saints got right back into it at 9-8, they load the bases with 1 out here in the 7th inning. And the batter's David Meadows.
There is 1 out, and you have the infield playing a double play depth. Just roll up a double play here and get out of the inning with no damage done.
First pitch to Meadows is a strike. Meadows 0 for 3, but does have a sac fly RBI. One ball and one strike.
Meadows a tough guy to double up too. Speed is his game. Third in the Peach Belt Conference in stolen bases with 18 on the year.
1-1 the count to him. That ball inside and low. Fly ball to short left. Burke takes it, and it was not deep enough for Pardue to tag up, so that worked out well for the Saints. You would think that Thomas would take that ball because he'd have the momentum coming in for a potential tag and then a throw to the plate. Instead, Burke calls him off, and there are 2 outs.
Hey, if you can get outs any way you can at this point, doesn't really matter who's the one making the catch as long as it's made. But this is a really tough matchup here for Garcia. Robert Brooks has been just an animal with the baseball bat thus far.
A triple last time, drove in 2 in that big 6th inning, and then a single back in the 3rd. 2 for 4. First pitch is low. Now the Saints climb back into it with 5 in the 6th. If they could somehow wiggle out of this bases loaded jam and keep it a 1-run game, that would be certainly a win. Two and 0. Brooks, the leading hitter on the club, 393, 16 homers, and 66 driven in starting the day. So making now 68 RBIs on the season.
He leads the Peach Belt Conference in batting average.
Check to swing. They appealed it down to first.
Wow.
So the count is 3-0.
Wouldn't be, honestly, with the way that Brooks has hit the ball, not only this series, but the entire year, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to walk him here.
And that's exactly what happens. He's walked on 4 pitches. It brings in the 10th run of the game for the Cougars, and now it's a 2-run advantage at 10-8.
Not getting out of much trouble because Brooks leads the Peach Belt Conference in average. Stephen Minter, not too far behind, 3rd place with a .378 batting average.
Minter 1 for 3 today. A single and a hit by pitch. That one catches the inside corner. Shading him to pull. A huge hole on the right side. 0-2.
Nice breaking ball there from Garcia. Now he has him in the palm of his hand. 0-2. Imagine he's going to try and get Minter to chase here.
Fouls that one off.
Play 3 line nice. Doesn't go over well, but
The last time you worked here.
Here's the 0-2. Blocked by Fiorenza. Trying to get him to chase inside and low.
That was just a big league stop from John Fiorenza. Right there. He makes it look so easy, too. Because Garcia off the hand thought that was going to get away from him, but because he came charging him almost immediately after he released that pitch.
Now the 1-2. Fouled out of play. Bases loaded. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another foul. Minter hanging tough. What do you throw here? Not to put you on the spot, but
I'd go high fastball here. Really just try to elevate it. I don't care if I miss the zone, but just something eye level almost.
And there is a line drive, but right at Matthew Burke, and that ends the inning. A run comes in, but it could have been worse. It's 10-8 now. Columbus State as we head to the home half of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th inning, 10-8, Columbus State. The Saints will bat here with Luke Wellborn, Griffin Garcia, and Tyler Keith due up to face Logan Seehafer. Seehafer was a little shaky. The closer coming in the 6th. Sometime when a closer comes in a non-save situation, comes in before the 9th, they're not necessarily as comfortable. First pitch, though, strike to Wellborn here in the 7th.
Yeah, he came out really wild, and it was costly. The Saints put up 5 runs, and now only trailing by 2. They've done a good job today matching the offensive output. They got unlucky in the 3rd inning with some runners caught down, inning-ending double play back in the 3rd. But the Saints have done a good job of matching offensive output here and look to do it again.
0-2 the count to Wellborn. That one stays up and outside.
I don't even have coffee. Oh, it is plus.
No, it is bad.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Such a patient hitter, Luke Wellborn. It's really great to watch.
You're like the best worker at Flagler College.
2-2. Didn't quite break as much as Seehafer might have hoped. And now the count is run full. Another good at bat by Luke Wellborn.
Bit of a back me up breaking ball there from Seehafer.
That's okay, you don't work on his team, so yeah.
Fastball misses. And Wellborn is aboard, exactly what the Saints need here in the 7th.
Wellborn looking over to the dugout, pumping the boys up. That's a great at-bat from him. Just great at-bat after great at-bat. They got Griffin Garcia coming up. Really great. He had a great at-bat his last time up as well, drawing a walk.
Came around to score in that big inning for the Saints. Turns around and bats, and that hit him in the foot. Another hit by pitch. And Seehafer struggling with his control.
Yeah, that's getting hit in the foot never feels good, and Griffin tried to get out of the way. We were talking about how guys really don't really try to avoid hit by pitches nearly as much, just kind of staying in there and wearing them. Griffin did not want to get hit there. He tried to jump out of the way of that one, but it caught him in the foot, and now Tyler Keith.
And this is exactly who Seehafer was brought in to face in the 6th inning. First pitch strike to Keith.
Keith showing bunt there. Saints really looking to get a run by any means necessary, but Keith has swung a really hot bat recently.
Lays off.
Oh, that's a terrible call. This is not the greatest showing for these umpires today. And the Saints faithful really.
Saints fans have come out here to celebrate Dave Barnett's 1,000th win. We had the ceremony prior to the game, and now Keith behind 0-2. That one blocked by Brooks. If my count is accurate, we've had 11 hit batsmen combined.
That can also be an effect of the heat. Hands get sweaty. There's a rosin bag on the mound, something we really haven't seen nearly as much this year. But sweat definitely playing a factor here with some of the control issues for a lot of these pitchers.
Now the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Keith, with 2 on and nobody out here in the Flagler 7th. 10-8 game. Strike 3 called. So now 1 down here in the 7th.
Gonna have a pitching change here.
We'll step aside and tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. fourth pitcher of the day is number 28, Leo Giannoni, a Submariner. Freshman, 6'2", 210 from Marietta, Georgia, transfer from Mercer University. Giannoni making his 13th appearance. He's 2-0 on the season with 2.84 ERA.
Appleton playing the numbers here. You see, got a righty coming up to bat now for the Saints. Back to actually 3 straight righties for the Saints, 4 straight righties for the Saints. So imagine Giannoni is going to face quite a few batters here.
And first pitch is in there for a strike.
Bit of change in velocity as well. Giannoni not nearly as throwing nearly as hard as Seehafer was, and then a complete change of arm angle and arm side.
How does that affect you if you're a right-handed batter facing a right-handed submariner like Giannoni?
It's not as right-handers really don't see the effects nearly as much because most pitchers, generally right-handed guys. As another one.
The 12th batter hit by a pitch today combined, and that loads the bases for the Saints.
Wow.
Well, that turns the lineup over back to Trey Newland, who's due for a hit. He's 0 for 4. Did reach on a fielder's choice and drove in a run in the 6th.
I have a good feeling about this at-bat for Newland. This really lines up with... Newland sometimes can struggle with velocity, but a right-hander throwing a little soft plays right into his strength to the pull side.
The 0-1 pitch, high and outside. Saints down 2. Fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Saints have put a lot of pressure on the Cougars pitching staff and vice versa.
Yeah, it's been a lot of high-pressure pitches, and neither team's pitching has really responded great to it.
Newland strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning, and it'll be up to Matthew Burke.
Burke's having a solid day. 3 for 2. Also reached on a hit by pitch. Seems like everyone's been hit by a pitch today. Has drove in a run and also scored one himself.
Be a run on ice packs after the game. First pitch is in there for a strike. I'm sure the Saints are happy to have Burke up in this situation. He's such a disciplined hitter. Pops it up on the infield. And the Saints are retired. They load the bases but aren't able to push across the run. It's still 10-8 as we head to the 8th. total. Okay. And welcome back. Another pitcher for the Saints. It's number 30, Dylan Faulkner, who's making his 14th appearance. Faulkner's 3-4 on the season with a 5.97 ERA.
Everybody's fresh.
And he'll deal with Colby Brabston first.
It's nice to win, but it's not a big deal.
First pitch is high. Faulkner is the 6th pitcher of the day for the Saints. Gabriel Partridge started, went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 7 runs, 4 of them earned. Ryan Franklin pitched a third of an inning, gave up a run. Brad Vondruska pitched a third of an inning. Nofi with 2/3 of an inning. And then Davian Garcia went 2/3.
Faulkner, big guy, 6'3", 205, a JUCO transfer, and that was a beautiful breaking ball.
So 1 down on the caught looking of Brabston. That brings up Derek Wiley.
Nice pair of shoes there for Faulkner. Just completely froze a good batter with that hook.
Faulkner working quickly.
Hasn't made any 70s references.
1 stays inside. Over in Americus, Georgia Southwestern, Young Harris in a pitcher's duel, the opposite of this game. They're into the 5th inning, no score, just 4 hits total there.
I love what Faulkner's done on the mound so far. He's completely changed the pace of the game and is really just taking control out on the mound.
Change of speeds there, and he's ahead of Wiley 1 and 2.
Spring training game, I gotta figure out who the hell's gonna get the win or loss.
Well, we haven't tied yet.
Wiley gets a piece.
I think it'd be the starter.
As of now, yes.
No.
2-2 the count to Wiley. Fouled that off his shin.
That one doesn't feel good. Seems like just about everyone's just getting hit with baseballs today.
Wow, I get the full service. Thanks, Brad.
Well, because then you get more wet when I pour.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
Gotta have that one. Gotta have that one. That was a beautiful pitch there from Faulkner.
Ground ball in the hole, knocked down. And the throw is in time.
Wow.
Great pick by Wellborn on the
What a play.
business end of it.
What a play. Matthew Burke with the dive there. And then all around, just for a game that's been as sloppy as it has been, there have been some great defensive highlights as well.
There have on both sides. Burke turning that one in. Now the batter is McDade. Dade 2 for 3.
Don't worry about whatever's floating.
Next thing I gotta do is draw up a transition.
Totally organic.
Shot foul.
Transition graphic.
Completely be
Now 1-2. Faulkner looks like he's working with a lot of confidence, working quickly at least.
He's established his pace, and he's forcing the batters to play at his pace, and that's been key to his success so far.
Breaking pitch. Misses. Here's the 2-2. That's low, and the count runs full. Hard hit, foul. That stays up high, and a 2-out walk worked by Michael McDade, and a good at bat. That brings up John Pardue. Pardue has a single today. He's 1 for 4.
Faulkner shook off a pitch there from Fiorenza. Wanted to go fastball, I guess, and left that one up high.
Fouled out of play. Faulkner's ready to go. Pardue has stepped out of the box. Another foul ball.
I like that Faulkner's really pushing the pace here. He was on the mound ready to go before the umpire even got back.
The 0-2 pitch. Check to swing. Ground ball to Burke. Throw is in time. So a walk, but no damage done here in the 8th. It's still 10-8 as we head to the home half. Bottom of the 8th inning, 10-8 Columbus State. It's John Fiorenza, Jaden Ward, and Ashton Thomas due up to face Giannone. This is the catcher, Fiorenza. Has an RBI single today, a walk.
Track the ball the whole way in.
Yeah.
He's 1 for 3.
Pretty slow.
You were Ted's old guy, weren't you?
Pretty much. Left hand here, yeah.
Yeah.
They shifted before that was a fashion. Well, rather than high school.
Wow.
I'm like, really?
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. Strike 2.
I was never really a full hitter.
I used to whack because I think I'd step out a little bit with my front foot.
Yeah.
Just opened up my shoulder. So I had to work at through college.
Yeah. I never really learned how to hit, honestly.
This one chop foul.
Much to my detriment.
Well, it's been a great series. Saints took the opener 5-4, and they needed Faulkner to close that one out
So I'm on the right
with the tying run at third.
different hitter. Some more power.
And then Columbus State came back and scored 3 in the 9th on Saturday afternoon, yesterday, to win it 7-4.
Looks like we're headed for another really tight finish here.
Yeah, it really does. 10-8 here. And it's been a back and forth game. Slow roller to second. And he holds the bag for the out.
Showing off the pliability, John Pardue. The senior first baseman there. I thought that one was going to the going over to the fences.
Here's Jaden Ward, who's 2 for 4. Saints had a great opportunity back in the 7th inning. Had the bases loaded. Weren't able to push across a run.
The alligator wrestler.
Been playing catch-up the entire game, fell behind 3-0 in the second, and then tied it in the home half of that inning, only to give up a run in the top of the third. They gave up 5 runs in the 6th, but scored 5 of their own to stay within a run. And then one more, a singleton again in the 7th for Columbus State.
Giannoni's retired everyone that he's faced thus far. He was a big reason behind the Saints not scoring any runs back in the 7th.
0-2 pitch, swung on, and Ward is retired. Quickly 2 gone here in the 8th. Brings up Ashton Thomas.
Let's see if we get a pitching change here with Giannoni rolling. It's going to be hard to take him out of this game, even though we have a left-handed power guy in Ashton Thomas coming up to the plate.
Doesn't look like they're going to make a move at the moment anyway. Oh, and the first pitch nearly caught him, and that was...
Buzz the tower.
Yeah, exactly. Columbus State pitchers have hit 4 Saints batters. Saints pitchers have hit 6 Cougars.
She commented, I'm not coming back.
They're really going to. That's so funny. Please. That's so funny.
1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Thomas.
Any other indication that Sweetwater is
Pull the string there.
there? You go.
I love Sweetwater. They're so nice.
Ground ball to third for Meadows. And the Saints go in order here in the 8th. It's still 10-8 as we head to the 9th inning. Top of the ninth inning, it's a 2-run lead for the Cougars of Columbus State. Connor Curley, Isaac Boughton, and David Meadows due up. Dylan Faulkner back out for a second inning of work.
Faulkner's really been a bright spot for this injured Saints bullpen and pitching staff. He's really stepped up and rose to the occasion.
Yeah. 27. Seems like that. Not quite that.
He offered at that bunt. 0-2.
Whoops. 19. 8-0. Not bad. No, thank God you have a mercy.
And a base hit on 2 strikes. Curley places one through the right side. And the leadoff batter is aboard. Back to the top of the order, and Isaac Boughton.
Curley acts as that sort of second leadoff guy. Really good batting average, above 300 now on the season. Just about everyone on this Cougars team seems to be batting over 300.
Boughton's been aboard 3 times today, a single, and he was hit by a pitch twice.
Softball do like one side.
Yes. Single elimination. Is that line there?
How many?
Top 7. So we'll open with Columbus State. That was already preordained.
Shows bunt, fouls it off.
We're locked into this.
Curley can move 17 stolen bases on the year in 19 attempts.
Single elimination, anything can happen. That's like the baseball.
Saints will try to keep him close.
We got to the semifinals in Georgia Southwestern. Was the 7th seed. We had the championship game. Yeah. So we got to do single elimination.
Yeah.
Shows bunt again, gets this one down. Faulkner will go to first for the sure thing, and there's one out. Good job by Boughton. Cougars trying to tack on an insurance run, make it more difficult for the Saints to come back in the bottom half of the inning. Batter's David Matthews. Saints want to talk about it. The very dangerous Matthews.
Coming into the meat of the order here.
Yep.
2, 3, 4. And out of all of them, Matthews is the guy you really want to face. Or Meadows, my mistake. The guy you really want to face. Because Brooks and Mintz are both of them top 3 in the Peach Belt Conference in batting average, and both of them can hit for power as well too.
First pitch swinging, fouled off.
I wonder if they'll change that with Buford coming in next year.
Well, the Saints of the 9th will have Luke Wellborn, Griffin Garcia, and Tyler Keith up as we look ahead. Need to get out of this top of the 9th. Plus the Cougars have Curley in scoring position.
Curley has a big lead over at second base. Can't imagine he'd take off for third, especially with the arm of Fiorenza, but just staying in the mind of Dylan Faulkner, keeping him uneasy on the mound, not letting him to really allowing him to establish a rhythm like he had in the prior inning.
One pitch, swing and a miss. This game just over 3 hours old. And there's the strikeout. So now 2 gone in the 9th, and the batter will be the very dangerous Robert Brooks.
This is going to be a really fun matchup to watch here. Faulkner has been pitching fantastic, and they're just going to intentionally walk him. Smart. That's a smart move from head coach Dave Barnett. 1,006 wins as Brooks sprints down the first baseline.
Yeah, gets the force in order here, so you have an out at any bag. Steven Minter is the batter. Minter is 1 for 4 today. He's also been hit by a pitch. Fly ball into right. This one drifting back at the wall, and it's gone! A 3-run home run from Steven Minter, and that might have done it for the Cougars.
Wow, that takes some serious power to put an opposite field with the wind coming in as well. That's just some serious power. That's home run number 11 on the year for Steven Minter, and comes at a great time for the Cougars.
So it's back to a 5-run lead, 13-8. Saints were an out away from getting out of it and going to the home half of the 9th with a 2-run deficit. Now it's a 5-run hill to climb. The batter is Colby Brabston.
With the way that runs have come for the Saints, this game still in reach, still easily in reach. They've had a lot of great opportunities, have left just runners on, and have had some unfortunate double plays, or have grounded into some unfortunate double plays, but this game's not out of reach by any means. Saints really need this game, as we still have a tie ball game with Georgia Southwestern and Young Harris.
3-1 the count now. Faulkner may be a little bit rattled after that 3-run shot. Fell behind 3-0. And now he walks Brabston with 2 outs.
Worst part is he executed a really good pitch. That was just a great piece of hitting. High and outside fastball. Just Minter managed to put a charge into it opposite field.
So Jeff Pelkey will come in. I think we may have a pitching change. It looks like he signaled to the bullpen. We'll hold on for just a second before we...
Yeah, we're going to get a pitching change here.
So we'll step aside and introduce you to the 7th pitcher of the day for the Saints. It's 13-8 Columbus State. welcome back. The new pitcher for Flagler is number 28, Stephen Reese. Reese making his 11th appearance. He's 3-1 with a 5.55 ERA. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Batter's Derek Wiley. Wiley doesn't have a hit today. He's driven in a run on a sac fly. He's scored after reaching on a hit by pitch. And this one is hammered to left and gone. A 2-run home run, the second homer of the inning for the Cougars, and it makes it 15-8.
Hanging breaking ball there to a power hitter, and you can kiss that one goodbye. That was a bomb.
So now it's a 7-run game, and McDade will bat. McDade has a couple of singles, a walk, and guess what? He was hit by a pitch. Oh! Right back through the box.
That nearly took off Reese's head. Luckily he got out of the way of that one, but that's 2 straight balls that have been absolutely tagged off of the bat.
So that brings up John Pardue. 15 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors for the Cougars. 8 runs on 11 hits and 3 errors for the Saints. Pop foul, out of play.
Reese needs to keep the breaking ball down. Got bit twice with breaking balls that have just stayed up in the zone. If he can bury it and hopefully get a strikeout here.
Reese, the 7th pitcher of the afternoon. We talked about the Saints likely to not spare anyone in the bullpen, and that has been the case here. After Gabriel Partridge pitched the first 5, here's a ground ball to Ward, and it pulls Wellborn off the bag. They may have the runner caught in a rundown, but he dives in safely.
Are you serious? He's out.
So that would have been a 5-3-4.
How is he safe?
So it appears everyone's safe all around.
Even I don't understand baseball
What?
like this.
We're just creating an Indian.
It's not fair.
Let's see. Okay, E5 throwing.
I'm lost for words here.
Well, it was obviously an error on the third baseman. I think we can all agree on
Yes.
that. That's how Pardue reaches. And then McDade was off of second base, and they threw behind him. And I actually, from my vantage point, I thought he got in under the tag.
I thought he got in as well.
So,
But you have we have an okay angle here, but to see all of the players react the way that they did, especially Matthew Burke, who has the best angle of them all. He's
Right.
laying down the tag.
and it's so even-tempered.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see
Yeah.
him get excited about a lot. This is Connor Curley, who started the inning with a single. Here's the 1-1. Oh, off of his foot. Popped into the air. And Curley has his second single of the inning. And the inning continues as the bases are now loaded.
Honestly, Saints catch a bit of a break there. That most likely would have scored a run had that gotten into the outfield.
Right, good point.
Definitely doesn't feel good taking a line drive off the foot, but I think Reese will take it in exchange for the run.
The shortstop, number 15, let's take out.
Saints content to just ride it out with Reese. No action in the bullpen.
I'm not sure anyone's left.
That's a good point. It's a real good point.
Who would be available at this point? This is Boughton, and hopefully this will end it. Oh, and it takes a diving catch from Matthew Burke, and he slams the baseball into the turf. 15-8 now as we head to the home half of the ninth. 5 runs across for Columbus State in that ninth inning. Okay. Who's the winner? Joyner? And the loser's Archibald? I mean Partridge. Is this the song you were working? What's it called?
Crazy Frog. I remember from last year, last like 2 years, every 9th inning of the close game.
And welcome back. Bottom of the ninth. Saints have a huge hill to overcome. This is Luke Wellborn. First pitch swinging. And it's out of play.
A welcome sign for the Saints. Miles Colangelo appears to be pinch hitting. He's been missing quite a few games with injury. It's sports hernia for him, but it'd be a huge sigh of relief for the Saints if he can get back into the ball game or get just back into shape for a playoff run.
Yeah, Colangelo on deck right now as we watch Wellborn batting. 1-1 the count. Wellborn has a single, 2 singles, and a walk today. He's also reached on an error, so he's been on 4 times. Giannone continues for the Cougars. He's in line for the save.
Put together a really good ball game so far.
Meanwhile, in Americus, Georgia, it's still a scoreless tie in the top of the 6th. Remember, the Saints can back their way into a hosting opportunity if Young Harris loses, and Wellborn has gone on strikes. So here comes Miles Colangelo.
That is 7 straight batters retired for Giannone.
Colangelo was really tearing it up when he went down with the injury. I believe it was a hernia, is that correct? You know the
sports hernia.
Sports hernia.
Sports hernia for Colangelo, but good enough to get into the batter's box here.
You said it'd be great if he was healthy enough to contribute in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. A 1 to him. Fouled off at the plate.
It's going to be tough. Just if that hernia is giving him problems, he might not be healthy enough to say get out and play some right field for the Saints. And then you have a log jam because Tyler Keith's been hitting the ball very well, and there's really no other place to put Keith.
Chopper, barehanded by Giannone, and Colangelo is safe, and then Colangelo looks a little gimpy after that sprint to first and the stretch. Hopefully he hasn't re-aggravated anything. It looks like he's ready to come out for a pinch runner. And this will be number 27, Bryce Fitzgerald, pinch running.
I hope he didn't re-aggravate anything there.
Sure did not look good.
Gingerly comes back to the dugout.
Number 16, Tyler Keith.
So here's Tyler Keith. 1 on, 1 out. Keith had a 2-run homer back in the second. Ground ball. Knocked down by the third baseman. He goes the short way for the out. Nice play by Meadows.
That was a really nice play. Knew that he probably wasn't going to be able to get enough juice on the throw to get it over to first in time. Heads up play to just slide it over to second real quick for the out.
So that brings up Zach Thomas. Saints are down to their last out. Thomas has reached twice today. A walk and a hit by pitch. He's driven in a run. And that will do it. The final is 15-8. Columbus State in a game that was much closer than that. Colton Joyner picks up the win. Gabriel Partridge is the loser. Leo Giovanni gets the save. The final again, 15-8. Your thoughts, Jordan?
The Saints, this game, you said it right, played a lot closer than it was. This isn't the Saints' game. Flagler wants to play in a low-scoring game where they can manufacture runs and play towards their strengths. But they stayed in this game nonetheless. This is a very high-scoring ball club in Columbus State, and they showed that they can play with them. It happens, you lose games, and the Saints they played sloppy at the end of the day, and they ended up losing. They shot themselves in the foot, but they will come back around. Playoff time, now it's all up to Georgia Southwestern and Young Harris if we're going to be back here at Drysdale Field or on the road. But all in all, it was a good series, and going to just put them in position for a playoff run. Hopefully some of this time off can get some guys healthy. I hope Miles Colangelo is okay. Came off gimpy to end it here. But all in all, it's a good season, and guys are definitely ready for playoffs.
Columbus State takes the series 2-1. They take today's game 15-8. For Jordan Fauci, I'm Dave Wenda, along with our sports information director, John Jordan, and our producer, Juliana Maynard. Thanks for watching here on the Peach Belt Conference Network.